Somewhere beyond the noise of this world, beyond our titles, beyond our past mistakes and future fears, there is a quiet place inside every human being where the soul still speaks. In that place, there is no race, no status, no victory or defeat, only truth. And it is there that we are meant to meet one another, not as strangers, not as competitors, but as fellow travelers on the long road of being human. We live in a time when people are surrounded by voices, yet starving to be truly heard. We shake hands, we exchange words, we scroll past faces, yet we rarely touch the heart of another. But when one soul dares to look into another without judgment, without masks, something powerful is born. In that moment, loneliness begins to fade, and understanding quietly takes its place. A soul-to-soul meeting does not require perfection. It requires courage. The courage to be real. The courage to say, "This is who I am, with all my scars and all my hope." And when that courage is answered with compassion, walls that took a lifetime to build begin to fall in a single breath. Every one of us carries a story that has never been fully told, a pain that was never fully understood, a dream that was never fully shared. Yet when two souls meet in honesty, those stories find a home, those pains find relief, and those dreams find wings. This is how healing begins, not through power, not through control, but through connection. Because when we recognize the humanity in another, we rediscover the humanity within ourselves. And in that recognition, something greater than fear is awakened, the quiet, unbreakable strength of the human spirit. Tonight, we are not here simply to listen. We are here to feel, to remember, to connect. For when souls truly meet, even the deepest wounds begin to heal, and even the darkest paths can be lit by the simple light of understanding. True connection begins when egos end and souls listen. And in that simple truth lies the doorway to every meaningful relationship we will ever experience. The ego is loud, impatient, and always hungry to be right. It wants to be seen, praised, defended, and protected. But the soul is quiet. It does not shout. It waits. It understands. When we allow the ego to lead, we hear only ourselves. But when we allow the soul to lead, we finally hear others. And in that listening, something sacred is born. Most of the conflicts in our lives do not come from hatred. They come from unheard hearts. People fight not because they want to hurt, but because they want to be understood. They speak over one another, not because they are cruel, but because they are afraid their truth will disappear if they remain silent. Yet when we lay down the weapons of pride and open the arms of humility, we create space for genuine dialogue. We create a bridge between two inner worlds that were once divided. To listen with the soul is not simply to hear words. It is to feel what is behind them. It is to notice the pain hiding in a laugh, the fear buried in anger, and the longing woven into silence. When someone speaks, they are not just sharing information, they are offering a piece of their inner life. To truly listen is to honor that offering, to receive it with respect, and to protect it with care. In a world that celebrates noise, choosing to listen is an act of courage. It means resisting the urge to interrupt, to correct, to dominate. It means allowing another person's story to exist without immediately comparing it to your own. This is how empathy grows. This is how trust is formed. And this is how hearts begin to feel safe enough to open. When egos end, forgiveness becomes possible. We stop keeping score. We stop measuring who was right and who was wrong. Instead, we begin to ask a deeper question: how can we heal? Healing does not require agreement. It requires understanding. Two people can see the same moment differently, yet still respect the truth in each other's experience. That respect is the soil in which reconciliation grows. Every human being is carrying invisible battles. Some are fighting memories they cannot forget. Some are fighting fears they cannot escape. Some are fighting the belief that they are not enough. When we listen with the soul, we do not try to fix these battles. We simply stand beside them. And sometimes that is the greatest gift we can give. True connection is not built on perfect words or flawless behavior. It is built on presence, on the willingness to say, I am here with you, even if I do not fully understand. In that presence, loneliness begins to dissolve. In that presence, people remember that they are not alone. So let us choose to quiet the ego and awaken the soul. Let us listen not just to respond, but to relate. Because when souls listen to souls, walls fall, wounds soften, and the human spirit finds its way back to unity. Every human being carries invisible battles and silent hopes, and this truth binds us all far more deeply than any difference ever could. We walk past one another every day, unaware of the storms raging quietly inside the people we meet. Behind a calm face may live a heart struggling to survive grief. Behind a smile may be a soul holding together fragments of a broken dream, and behind a quiet voice may be a courage so powerful it has endured what words could never describe. We often judge people by what we see on the surface, yet the surface reveals almost nothing of what truly matters. A person's strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is the simple act of getting out of bed when life feels unbearable. A person's hope is not always spoken. Sometimes it hides in the small decision to keep going, even when the future feels uncertain. These unseen acts of bravery deserve more respect than any applause could ever offer. Silent hopes are the gentle flames that keep us alive in dark times. They are the dreams we are afraid to say out loud because we fear they may be laughed at, dismissed, or never fulfilled. Yet these quiet dreams are what give meaning to our struggle. They remind us that even when the present is painful, the future can still hold something beautiful. Every person you meet is carrying at least one hope that keeps them moving forward, even when everything inside them wants to stop. Invisible battles shape who we become. They teach us patience, humility, and compassion, even when they arrive wrapped in pain. Some battles are fought against loss, some against fear, some against the voice inside that says, "You are not enough." And yet, day after day, people rise and continue walking with dignity, even though no one sees the weight they carry. This quiet endurance is one of the most powerful forces in the world. When we recognize that others are fighting struggles we cannot see, our hearts begin to soften. We become less eager to judge and more willing to understand. A harsh word loses its power when we realize it may be spoken from a place of hurt. A mistake becomes easier to forgive when we understand that everyone is doing their best with the strength they have left. Compassion grows when we remember that no one's life is as simple as it appears. This awareness has the power to transform how we treat one another. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with you?" we begin to ask, "What has happened to you?" And in that shift, humanity is restored. We move from accusation to empathy, from separation to connection. We begin to see not enemies or strangers, but fellow souls walking a difficult road. If we truly embrace this truth, the world would become a gentler place. We would speak more kindly, listen more deeply, and love more freely. We would understand that behind every face is a story still being written, and within every heart is a hope still waiting to be fulfilled. When we honor the invisible battles and silent hopes of others, we do not just change how we see them, we change how we see ourselves. And that is where true unity begins. Respect is the foundation of every deep relationship, because without it, even love becomes fragile and trust slowly fades. You can admire someone, you can feel connected to them, and you can even care deeply about their happiness. But if respect is missing, the bond will eventually break under the weight of misunderstanding and disappointment. Respect is what allows two people to stand as equals, even when their paths, beliefs, or experiences are different. To respect another human being is to acknowledge their dignity. It means recognizing that their feelings are real, their experiences are valid, and their voice deserves to be heard. You may not always agree with someone, but respect allows disagreement to exist without turning into conflict. It creates a space where people can express themselves without fear of being belittled, ignored, or made to feel small. Every deep connection, whether between friends, partners, families, or even strangers, is built on this simple yet powerful truth: I see you and I value you. When someone feels respected, they feel safe. And when people feel safe, they are more willing to be honest. They are more willing to share their fears, their dreams, and the parts of themselves they usually keep hidden. That honesty is what transforms a surface-level relationship into a soul-level bond. Respect also means honoring boundaries. It means understanding that love does not give us the right to control, manipulate, or diminish another person. True connection does not seek to own, it seeks to support. When we respect someone's boundaries, we tell them that their individuality matters, that their space, their choices, and their growth are just as important as our own. This is how trust is protected and how relationships remain strong over time. In moments of conflict, respect becomes even more important. Disagreements are inevitable whenever human beings come together, but respect determines whether those disagreements will destroy or deepen the relationship. When respect is present, people listen instead of attacking. They try to understand instead of trying to win. They choose peace over pride, and in doing so, they allow healing to take place. Respect is not something we demand. It is something we demonstrate. It is shown in how we speak, how we listen, and how we treat others when no one is watching. It is in the patience we show when someone is struggling. It is in the kindness we offer when someone makes a mistake. These small acts of respect accumulate into something powerful, a connection that can withstand hardship, change, and time. When we live with respect at the center of our relationships, we create bonds that are not based on fear or dependency, but on mutual honor. And in that environment, souls are free to meet, to grow, and to walk together with strength and grace.